automatic redirection. Gotta test it on the same lesson. Get the money, keep collecting. I expect the best and nothing less. I better get it. Automatic redirection. Gotta test it on the same lesson. Get the money, keep collecting. I expect the best and nothing less. I better get it. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Mantle Motivations. I am your host, Dominique Bishop. Welcome to episode 3. Uno, dos, tres. First and foremost, before we get started, I have to apologize. This podcast is coming to you guys a day late. I hate it. I'm sorry. This is not like me, but a lot has been going on in my life, and also a lot has been going on with this podcast. So I the past couple of videos I was utilizing CapCut, and it was working out pretty well. But this past time, my wife and I tried to finish the Love and Happiness Part 2 episode. And for some reason, it just would not work. And we had some really good content too. We were really giving y'all some good stuff. And the first time I uploaded it uploaded just the audio and not the video. Couldn't find the video anywhere on my laptop. Didn't know where it was. Don't know what happened. And then the second time we did it again, it just uploaded the visual and not the audio. So, and then you would think I would learn, right? But I was like, well, let me try again, and just in case, and let me tweak some things or what have you. So I literally just recorded this podcast on it again, and it gave me all visuals and no audio. And I tried to utilize the support staff that they have on there, but it wasn't working. They weren't able to help me. So now I'm utilizing a different editing and video, which I believe this one is called Podcastle. So we're gonna see how this works. All right. Hopefully I can go ahead and get this out and upload it and get you guys this episode. And we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So I want to start this episode by telling you all a story. Actually something that occurred, I think it was yesterday while I was at work. So the place that I work at has a lot of signs all over the place. Work with a logistics company. And the way the property is set up, when you come onto the property, you make a right, you go in, you can either go into the parking lot, the employee parking lot, or go into the truck lot in the back. Everything is come in, turn to your right, go around, and come all the way around to the other side, and you exit the other side. So, of course, if you come in and go to your left, there's a sign that says do not enter. So you can't go that way, right? Then you come over here, it says wide turns, be careful. And then as you go down a little bit further, it says no U-turns, because everyone's coming in that way. So there's no U-turns for you to come around. There's signs all over the place. Do not enter, do not turn right, do not turn left. This is not an exit. Big old stop signs, turn around, go the other way, like signs all over the place. So there was a gentleman who came in for an interview, and he got dropped off by Uber, and of course got picked up by Uber. So it was a little bit busy around this time. I saw the car drive in, I saw the gentleman walk out, and I saw him getting closer to the vehicle, so I assumed that was his Uber. So the Uber driver, I guess he was going to have him hop in the car and then just drive back out. Because when you drive up to the employee parking lot, there are gates there. Of course, have to be accessed through a call system, or if you have an employee badge, right? So he was just going to pick him up and then make a U-turn and go right back out. There's signs, no U-turn. And there are trucks coming in as he's trying to do this. So I see him getting ready to make that U-turn. So I pull up, honk my horn, get his attention. No, sir, we can't do that. turn around, go the other way. I'm giving him hand signals now, right? Turn around, go the other way. So the passenger walks by his car and said, "Give me 1 second." I guess he's gonna come talk to me. And he's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna hop in the car and then we're just gonna zip out of here." And I was like, "Well, actually, no. You can't do that. There's a sign right there that says no U-turns. So you once you get in the vehicle, he's gonna have to utilize the call box right there, hit the button, and the front desk will open the gate for him. He can drive through to the other side of the parking lot and exit on the other side." "Oh, okay, cool, no problem." He gets in the car. I guess he didn't tell him what he needed to do because the gentleman turns his car back around, drives right past the call box and up to the gates, and just sit there waiting. Bro, like really? So I drive up. He's looking at me like the driver's like putting his hands in the air. I'm like, I pull up to the call box and I point to the call box. Call box. This is what I was telling you. So I hit the button. "Hey Bishop, what's up? Hey, I got an Uber driver here trying to get out. Can you open the gates for him and then, let him go to the other side? He'll push the button and you can open the gates for him then." I gave the man too much credit, honestly, assuming that he would push the button because they open the gates, let him through. I badge myself in, go through. And then we get to the other side on the exit and he pulls up to the gate and he begins to sit and wait, waiting for, I guess, just for the gates to open up. So the front desk calls me, "Hey, Bishop, is that the car you were telling us about in the Uber? The Uber car is trying to exit." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, is everything okay? He's been sitting out there for a little while." Because by this time, he's sitting out there for maybe about 2, 3 minutes. And me, I'm a little petty. So I pulled up. I wasn't too close to him, but I was just looking, just waiting to see when they were going to press the button so they could exit out. I mean, the call box is plain as that. You can't miss it, honestly. So, again, we waited for about 2 or 3 minutes. Finally, I guess the passenger realized what was going on because most of the time he was down looking at his phone. And then he goes ahead and gets out of the car and then pushes the button. So then they respond and then they open the gate. He's gone. Moral of the story: pay attention to the signs. Name of this episode 3 is called Seeing the Signs. Okay. How many times, honestly though, let's think about it. This is a real question. How many times do you guys not pay attention to signs? I know sometimes I don't pay attention to signs. I mean, talking about signs in real life, right? So, for example, how many times do you push on a door that says pull? Not paying attention to signs. How many times have you accidentally ran a stop sign because you just didn't see it? You weren't paying attention. How many times have you been pulling on a door to gain access to something or exit, and there's clearly a sign right there that says use other door, right? I'm sure it's happened to none of you guys, just me. Um, but but it happens, right? We don't pay attention to signs. So with this podcast, I really want to dive into paying attention to the signs, right? And the signs that I'm talking about are uh, signs that help us to stay on our path and to stay focused in life. Okay. So, um, first, let's talk about understanding the signs. All right. So, let's start by defining what signs are, okay, and what they mean to us in the context of our lives. So signs can be many different things, many forms, right? They might be subtle nudges, they might be clear signals that, steer you in a certain direction. They can also be certain patterns and coincidences. Now, Like you heard me say in my first podcast, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in things just happening. That's just me. But if you believe in it, I understand that's okay. So those are other forms of signs. Um, Also, you have gut feelings, or even messages from other people, right? So essentially, signs are external and internal cues that resonate deeply with us and often align with our intuition. Simple as that, right? Um, I know a good example is, let's say, you know how sometimes things happen in your life and you're like, man, I should have listened to my first mind, right? Normally, that first mind, that first thought that you had that told you to do something that you ended up didn't doing because you second guessed yourself, because you didn't trust yourself. We're gonna get into that later, because it goes a little deep. Um, that should have been the first thing that you did. That should have been the thing that you did, right? For example, down here in Georgia or anywhere else, I know it happens in Chicago too or wherever. And these weathermen and women sometimes get it wrong, right? So you look outside and the sun is shining, snow clouds in the sky, everything looks good. And before you leave out that door, some say grab your umbrella. And you look, I see like, grab my umbrella. Nah, I'll be good. And sure enough, just like right now, it's thundering outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I hear it. It's thundering outside. And earlier today, we had a high of like, I want to say 95, 96 degrees down here in Georgia. And it was a little humid, but there was no rain. No rain today. And now it's thundering outside. The rain is a coming. And it's been like that for the past, like, I think a week, maybe week and a half, where it's been bright, sunshiny in the morning, and then thundering and lightning and storming at nighttime. But they say there's a lot of stuff going on in the atmosphere. I know there's supposed to be some storms coming off the Atlantic, so we're the East Coast is getting all of that, right? Um, but that is a perfect example of listen to your first mind. It's like, man, if I would have listened to my first mind, I wouldn't have been out here getting soaking wet. I would have been covered in my umbrella, right? So those small things, okay? Those small things are important. Internal cues. Um, you know, feeling the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or when somebody walk in the room or you meet somebody and you get a certain feeling. You just can't quite put your finger on it, but something's not right with that person. Um, I'm like that a lot. I have a lot of discernment, and but it's something that I have been working on for years. Okay, so I have a strong sense of people, and who I want to be around and who I don't want to be around. If I'm not feeling you and I don't want to be around you, I'm not going to be around you. I'm not going to entertain you. That's me. You can ask my friends. Like, that's me. You can ask my wife. That's me. I even tell her, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not too keen on that person. I mean, yeah. I don't advise you hang out with them either. Hey, watch your back, babe. I tell my friends, hey, I don't know about that one right there. you know and I'm a type of person, we can all be hanging out and that individual walk up, and before they walked up, I was laughing, talking, he and ha and doing all that, and as soon as they walk up, I boom, right here, checking them out, what they doing, what they saying, how they acting, because I don't feel comfortable with you around, right? There's just something about you that we not vibing, you know um and I like being around people who are authentic, right? People who are real, people who don't put up a front, people that say what they mean and mean what they say, and people whose actions align with what they say. We don't get that a lot nowadays. I mean, if you look at social media and you look at All these reality TV shows and everything, a lot of people are faking the funk. They really are. I mean, they are like green screening. Uh, Funny, I got one behind me. But they're green screening their lives. Like they're green screening their vacations. Like they, doing one thing for social media just to make a quick little buck. But in real life, they're miserable. Or their real life is completely opposite than what they're portraying. Like it's honestly it's hard to keep up being fake. Honestly, I don't know how people do it because it's just so much easier to be you and be authentic. And that's why I try my best to be that way. I am who I am. If you don't like me, oh well, because I'm gonna be me. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be me. I'm not gonna change for you just because you don't like me. Honestly, your opinion really doesn't matter or doesn't mean that much to me to a certain extent. Like, I'm gonna be me. Um, but yeah, we have to pay attention to those signs. And when people say things to you and act a different way, of course, again, like I said, pay attention to their actions. Um, because actions speak louder, I mean, much louder than words. Okay. I can tell you I love you, and I can tell you I want you in my life, and I can tell you I want to be with you. But every time you try to call me, I don't answer my phone. Or every time you send me a text message, I don't respond, or I take 5 weeks to respond back. And or I could say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna take you out, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then when it's time to take you out, oh hey, my bad, something came up, I got to do something, or this, that, and the other. Is because necessarily I don't want to hang out with you. Like that's what people do. You know what I mean? Instead of being real and saying, what, honestly, I don't think this is gonna work out because I'm really not that interested in you. I thought I was, but we're too different or whatever the reason may be. But people try to fake the funk and lead people along, and you can get hurt like that. You can hurt other people like that. And that's why we have so many situations happening in real time, in real life. People's egos are getting hurt and they act on that because they're extremely emotional. And hurt people, right? So we got to be careful when people show you who they are, believe them. All right. If that man or that woman is showing you or acting as if they don't love you, 9 times out of 10 they don't love you. They don't want to be with you. They don't want to be around you. So you have to pay attention to the signs. And I was always told, if you have to ask somebody if they love you, do they really love you? If this person is making you question yourself or making you question your relationship, that's not love. Because love is security, right? Love is assurance. Love is letting you know I'm here for you, right? And we in this together, right? So I went a little bit off on a tangent, um but that's part of seeing the signs and recognizing the signs, right? And I know that happens a lot in relationships, and I know it happens a lot with us women because sometimes we don't want to let go. It's like, no, they love me. I know they love me. No, baby girl, actions speak louder than words. When was the last time you seen that person? When was the last time you talked to that person? Right? When was the last time they made you feel good about yourself? When was the last time they assured you that there was nobody else? And I'm not talking about lying. When was the last time they made you feel special? Think about all these things, that comes into play. Um, and just be real. Sometimes being real hurts because it's like, okay, now I'm faced with the fact of the truth that this person isn't really in love with me, and now I gotta break it off with them. But that's okay, because you know why? You gotta love yourself first. This is the most important relationship that you have, is the one with yourself. All right. So signs. Okay. So understanding the signs, right? Understanding the context of the signs in our lives. Like we said, we talked about what signs can be. They can be the little subtle nudges. They can be that gut feeling that you have, right? They can be the hair standing up on the back of your neck, right? Um, Next, we're going to talk about. I'm gonna give you guys a story of a personal experience. Um, I remember when I worked in the jail. Um, there was this lady that worked there who was a self-proclaimed, self-appointed bishop in the church, and I was not. She was one of those people that I wasn't very keen of because her actions and her words did not match. They didn't. She would say one thing, talk the talk, talk the churchy talk. I'm sorry, talk the churchy. I can't speak. Talk the churchy talk, but I mean, you can tell her heart wasn't right. You can tell she just wasn't there. The way she treated people, the how prideful she was. I mean, it was like, yeah, no, this not it, boo. This not it. And it's so fun because I remember one time one of my coworkers I was working with the jail, we ended up working at another place together, and he was like, "Man, Bishop, I remember one time when we were leaving out a roll call, and she was passing out books to all the officers, and she got to you, and you leaned back, and you was like, 'No, I'm good. I appreciate it though, but I'm good.'" And he was like, "When I saw you do that," he was like, "I knew something was up." He was like, "Cause you one of the realest people I know. Like you never fake the funk. Like you are you, you know." And he was like, "Yeah, I noticed that about you, you know, and I just knew it was something up with her." And needless to say, a lot of people started finding out some stuff about that individual. I'm not gonna put her business out there, but yeah, a lot of people found out a lot of stuff about her, and she wasn't what she said she was. Um, but I felt that, right? That discernment that I had, that gut feeling that I had, told me there was something about her that I couldn't get with, and I didn't want anything from her that she was giving out, especially a book that she wrote. I don't know what kind of curses or hexes or anything she put in that book, and I'm reading it and putting that stuff in my life. You know, energy transforms, energy moves around, you know. Even now in this moment, me talking to you, energy that I have, you're getting that energy from me. Um, and you know, I'm putting out positive energy, you know what I mean? But you have to be careful when you're around people. You know, growing up in the church, I was taught don't let everybody put their hands on you. And what I mean is, you know, growing up in the church, we do a laying on of the hands uh, in the Pentecostal, you know, churches and the Baptist churches and things like that. That's what we believe in, the laying on of the hands and anointing people with oil, because there's a biblical sense behind that. But I won't get into all that right now. But um, you have to be careful because people impart things to you, and you don't know. You know, if you don't have discernment, you just letting any and everybody put their hands on you, or you know, touch you or do whatever, and you're getting a piece of what they have on them. So you have to be careful. You truly have to be careful when it comes to reading things, when it comes to listening to things. Um, and you know, to go into it even a little deeper, I can do a whole podcast just on that. Be careful what you listen to, be careful what you watch, be careful, you know, how you talk, all that type of stuff. Because the spiritual is tied to all of it, right? But yeah, I'm putting out good energy, and I hope that you're receiving good energy. So with that in particular person, um, the energy that she was putting out wasn't all that positive, and I felt that. So no, I didn't want your book. No, ma'am, I'm good. I appreciate it though. Thanks for offering, but I'm straight. You know, keep it moving. I'm good. Um, so yeah, be careful. When your gut tells you something, listen. You feel something, pay attention to that. Right? Get in tune with yourself on that. Okay. Which takes us to the next point. How to recognize signs. All right. How can you become more attuned to recognizing signs in your own life? Um, the first step is mindfulness. Okay. Being present and being aware of your surroundings and your inner thoughts. All right. They can help you notice these signs. Okay. Um, Part of that experience is regularly meditating, right? So if you wake up in the morning, and I honestly prefer to do it in the morning. Most people do meditation and things in the morning because it helps you center yourself and get yourself together before you go out and deal with the world. All right. So me, I like to read the word. I also pray, and I also say affirmations. So that's me. I do my best to, no matter what, I'm gonna get my 5 minutes in. Right, 5 minutes. Sometimes I might be able to get a little bit more. Sometimes I might be able to get 10 minutes, depending on what time I wake up in the morning, or if I oversleep or not. But for the most part, I do my best to try to get my 5 minutes of meditation and alone time and get myself together and center myself. I keep doing this because it's center myself before I go out into the rest of the world. And it's important you do that because that helps build a foundation for you to rely on before you go out and deal with the rest of the world, right? It's something that you can come back to, right? Think about how you grew up, or, you know, think about having a home or having a peaceful home, right? Living in a peaceful home, or having a good foundation, or having that nest that you're in. You're getting ready for your day, and you go out to the world, and then you can come back and recuperate and all of that. So, part of that is when you're leaving out and you've done your meditation, you've done your work for the day, right? You're taking the piece of that foundation, your home, with you wherever you go. And you can rely on that to help keep you centered again. Center, that's the motion for the podcast. Okay. um, to help keep you centered and help keep you together, so you always have a focal point to go back to. Right, somebody might cut you off in traffic. Hold on, slow your roll. All right, let me get back to me. All right, somebody might say something crazy, crazy to you at work. Hold on, let me get myself together. If you need to, go to the bathroom, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, go sit in your car, go take a walk around the parking lot, whatever you got to do, get yourself together, recenter yourself, right? Find your focal point, right? And rely on that to help steer you in the direction that you need to go. And let's pray and hope that it's a positive direction and not a negative direction, right? So getting control of our emotions helps with that. That's what motivation and journaling and being at one with yourself helps you to control your emotions, because a lot of people are controlled more so by their emotions than they are their discernment and their logic. People are just out here just doing any and everything because they're upset, because they're hurt, because they're mad, because they're sad. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of negative emotions that are taking people over. And they just, when you don't have control of yourself and you don't have control over your emotions, um, you allow things to get to you. And when you don't have that inner peace, again, that centering, that inner peace, um, anything can rattle you, anything can move you, anything can shake you, you know. Um, and if you're not focusing in on what it is that you need to do, and you get distracted by everything else that's going around, you know, allowing yourself to be off centered, allowing yourself to be pulled to the right, or allowing yourself to be pulled to the left. You go any which way. You can't allow that to happen. Don't let your emotions get you in trouble. I used to tell I still tell my employees that excuse me, don't let your emotions run you, baby. Stop, take some deep breaths, calm down, and think. Think, right? I had an employee one time call me. She said, Miss Bishop, I gotta go. I gotta go. My alarm going off at the house. I gotta go. And I just, took a second. I said, let me ask you a question. When you get to the house, what you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna call the police. Okay. So why not call the police now? Just a suggestion. Because by the time you leave the job and get to your house, 9 times out of 10, those robbers gonna have anything and everything that they want already if they got in, and they gone. And then you get there and they're gone, and then you call the police. Does that really make sense? No. What makes sense is, you know what? Let me go ahead and call the police now, and then they can go check it out first and let me know what's up. And then if I need to go and assess any damages or anything, then I can leave and go. But now I know the scene is safe, it's secure. That's cop talk. I used to be a cop, but the scene is safe, the scene is secure, and I can go now and I can assess or evaluate any damages if there are any. Right. But I mean, let the police do their job. The alarm going off. You should have it set up anyway that the alarm people call the police first. And that's a good thing to have. Let's say, for example, you get into a car accident. You get into a car accident and then you call your partner or call whoever. I just got into a car accident. This, that, and the other happened. Da 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 da. Da. It's like, okay, all right, cool. The police on the way. No, I didn't call the police yet. Can you do me a favor? Could you get off the phone and call the police so they could be en route? Like, when we get so caught up in our emotions, it's like you automatically call the person who you feel most comfortable with. And I get that. We all do it sometimes. You're going through something, you want to call that person that you trust or that you love to let them know what happened. Right. Well, it's like, okay, hold on, stop, because I'm all the way in Timbuktu. I can't get to you. But I'm pretty sure there's a police station or a sheriff's office within that jurisdiction that can get to you much faster than I can. So call them first and then call me. And if you need me to come out, I'm coming, right? So yeah, that's a part of again the signs. Paying attention to the signs, recognizing things. And I was saying, not letting your emotions run you, right? We have to think sometimes. We have to make decisions from our mind, all right? Look at all the possible outcomes logically, and stop getting so emotional, because your emotions can get you wound up, and you can end up making irrational decisions that can change your life forever. Ask all the people that's in jail that made split second decisions and wish they never had, just based off of somebody making them mad. You know, somebody shooting somebody just because they pissed them off. Made them mad or said something crazy to them, and they got so mad, man, whatever, just like that. A life gone or somebody hurt, and if they catch you now, you in jail. You know, so we have to learn to control our emotions, and part again, bringing it back into it. Part of controlling our emotions is being what? In tune, being centered, being aligned, right? Having power over yourself and not letting other people and outside influences have power over you. Okay. Um, so that goes into trusting your intuition, which is crucial. Um, and going back to that example I utilized with grabbing the umbrella to go outside. With that, the even those small things where we second guess ourselves, a lot of times we second guess ourselves because we don't trust ourselves. And one of the best relationships that you have is the relationship that you have with yourself. So, the most important thing for that foundation is two things: loving yourself and trusting yourself, right? When you're in a very loving, healthy relationship, two things you have: love and trust, right? And you build upon that, right, for a healthy relationship. So you have to do the same thing for yourself. You have to love yourself, you have to trust yourself, okay? The more you begin to trust yourself, the more it'll be easier for you to listen to those thoughts that you have, those first thoughts, and you'll be like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, let me go ahead and grab that umbrella. And I just keep using that because it's a simple example. But yeah, let me just go ahead. That was my first thought. Let me go ahead and do that. There's been a few times where, or a lot of times, until I started making things intentional for myself. But there were a lot of times where I'll be like, man, I wish I had did such and such a so and so. I wish I had listened to my first thought. I should have brought that jacket because now I'm cold. Or I should have did this, or I should have did that, or I should have turned left or turned right. And then you end up regretting a decision that you didn't make because you didn't listen to yourself because, again, you didn't trust yourself. You second guessed yourself. Stop doing that. Stop second guessing yourself. Trust yourself. Love yourself. Okay? So, in order for you to do that, um, again, that goes back to that journaling and spending time alone with yourself. When you're in a relationship and you love somebody, you do what? You want to spend time with them, right? We have a lot of people nowadays who are not comfortable enough with themselves to spend time alone with themselves. It's healthy to be able to go out and take yourself to dinner. It's healthy to be able to go out to the movies by yourself. It's healthy to go hang out with yourself. That's fine. Do that. Because if you don't love yourself, how are you truly going to love anybody else? If you don't trust yourself, how are you truly going to trust anybody else? So it all starts here first. All right. This is the most important relationship that you ever going to have in your life. So your foundation for any other relationship that you're going to have is going to stem from the relationship that you have with yourself. Love and trust with you, right? Um let's see what's next. Um Last thing, practical applications, okay? What are some things that you can do, or how can you apply the concept of paying attention to signs in your everyday life, right? um, we can start by being intentional and being more aware, and again that starts with what? Boom, right there, centering yourself, right? Starting off your day with that motivation, starting off your day with some journaling, starting off your day with being quiet, being present, being in the moment, and taking those deep breaths and calming yourself down, right? So being intentional. Um, Also, ask to be shown signs that will guide you. Okay, you can make that a part of your meditation. All right. Um, and also, not just meditation, but affirmations. Affirmations are important. And I'm going to tell you the most powerful affirmation there is out there is three letters, two words: I am. I am. It's pretty powerful. I'm telling you, I am, right? I am love. I am peace. I am joyful, right? I am wealthy. I am healthy, right? So going back to having a relationship with yourself, I use myself for example. Um, I'm 5'3", and I was at 225 pounds. I'm no longer that anymore. I've lost some weight. Thank God. But for a while, I was very unhappy and uncomfortable in my skin, you know? And I was like, I'm going to start this health journey, this lifestyle journey. I'm going to get myself together. But the first thing that I had to do, the first step I had to do was um, acknowledge myself in the present. I had to acknowledge myself and love myself being a 5'3" and 225 pounds, right? I couldn't continually down myself every time I looked in the mirror, be like, oh, I can't stand how my body look. Oh, I can't stand how these clothes look on me. I couldn't continue to do that and then try to move forward in the journey. I wouldn't appreciate it as much. So I had to start with that moment where I was at, being 5'3" and 225 pounds, right? So I had to say, I love you, Dominique. I love all 225 pounds of you. I love you. I love everything about you. I love your hair. I love your eyes. I love your face. I love them belly rolls. I love them hips, right? You got to start loving on you. You have to love yourself in the condition that you're in. And see that that's why you have people out here that sometimes they don't truly love themselves, and they'll go out and do certain things to their bodies and do whatever. Now, okay, cool, enhancements are cool. It is what it is. It's up to you. But I'm talking about the generality of it, where people are truly unhappy with themselves and they just want to go out and get a surgery done. But then you don't make the lifestyle changes to keep it together. It's like, no, I'm not going out like that. I'm gonna make the lifestyle changes, but first I'm gonna start with loving me and accepting me at 5'3", 225 pounds. And now that I'm still 5'3", 5'3" and a half. That didn't change yet, but I've lost a significant amount of weight. Right, I'm down to about 208 right now. And I'm still losing weight. I'm still going to continue to lose weight. And I have a goal that I'm going to get to, that I'm going to reach. I'm 39. I'll be 40 next year. And by the time I'm 40 next year, I'm gonna be at that goal. Right. So, but again, I had to start with loving myself in that moment, in that time. And now that I'm at where I'm at, I love myself even more. Okay. The achy knees are gone. The swollen ankles and achy ankles are gone. Achy ankles are gone. I'm happy. I'm joyous in my body. I feel better and look better in my clothes. But again, it started with that first point, that first moment. And then again, go back to what we talked about before, love and trust. So because I love and I trust myself, I'm I think I'm pretty centered. I think I'm decent, And again, my discernment is strong, and I do my best to be intentional, and I try to do my best to control my emotions. I'm not perfect by any means, but I am working at these things, and that's how I know these things work, and that's why I can tell you that they work, because they're working for me in my life, right? So I just want to be an example for everybody, and I hope you all try it. So going back to affirmations again, we were talking about the most powerful affirmation out there is I am. Want to get a little biblical. We were talking about when Moses was going to Pharaoh, and Moses asked God, who do I tell sent me? When he was trying to go to Pharaoh to get his people to, let my people go, he was like, who do I tell sent me? And God told him, tell him I am. I am. Like, that's, if when you really think about it, that phrase is so complex and so simple at the same time. Like, just tell him I am. Like, you can say that and drop the mic. Like, boom, just tell him I am. Like, you know what I mean? And utilize that when you're doing your affirmations in the morning, when you're journaling. You can write a list of things to say. All right, talk about the I ams. I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am this, I am that. um Thinking about what was that movie, the help when she used to talk to the little girl. And she was like, I is kind, I is important, all that type of stuff, and she was teaching her affirmations at a young age. Do that to yourself. I am loved. Whatever it is that you may not be right now that you want to become, say that to yourself. I am. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am healthy. I am joyous, right? I am a giver, right? I am peaceful, right? So write those things down and put them somewhere where you'll see them every day. You go in your bathroom every day, right? When you get ready for work, put that thing on your mirror. You go get food to eat every day in your refrigerator, go put it on your refrigerator. If you want to put it in your car, you can say it on your way to work. Do that too. But practice those I am statements every day. Okay? Say them to yourself every day. All right? It's important to do that. Also, pay attention to some reoccurring themes and symbols and signs in your life. All right. Now, we're not necessarily talking about like algorithms um, that you see on Facebook and Instagram. We already know how that stuff go. You put something in your search engine, you try to Google something, and now you see it pop up everywhere. That's how it was for me when I wanted to start a podcast. I was doing some research, and then I started seeing podcasts and stuff all over my feeds everywhere, right? So we're not necessarily talking about that. But we're talking about little things that you might see, or messages you might hear, or songs you might hear on the radio. You know, you might be feeling a certain type of way, and then all of a sudden, you're driving home or driving around, and that song come on the radio. You're like, man, oh yeah, that was right on the money. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. That was awesome. Or again, going back to church, if you go to church on Sundays, and or you listen to motivational speeches, and you hear them talking to you, and you're like, man, that resonated with me. I felt that. And another thing we have to remember too, when things resonate with us, when we feel things, it's because it's confirmation, right? It's something that we've already been dealing with, or already been pondering, or already been thinking about, or already been feeling something about it. And when we hear somebody else speak about it, or somebody else come to us and say something about it, it's confirmation. Okay, so that's another way to think about signs and things of that sort. All right, so again, pay attention to reoccurring themes, symbols, messages throughout your day, and reflect on those things. Don't just let it pass you by. And you're like, oh, okay. No, if you got a moment, stop and take a break and ponder it. Okay, now why did that happen? Why did that happen like that? All right. Why did she say that to me? All right. Especially things that resonate with you. Why am I hearing that? Or why is that occurring? Stop, take a break, ponder it, be in the moment, be present. The lifestyle that we live nowadays in the West world, everything is go, 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 go. Go, 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 get it, get it, get it, hustle, 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 hustle hard, hustle, hustle. Everything is that, right? So make it your business to be intentional and stop and take a break and be in that moment. All right. You need to. All right. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's about keeping up with yourself and keeping yourself what? Centered and aligned and in tune. Okay. Um, so again, like I said, when you encounter a sign, take a moment to reflect on it and its possible meaning and how it aligns with your current situation. Um, and over time, practice these things so they can begin to come natural to you. I know the normal rule of thumb is, they say, if you do things for a minimum of 30 days, it becomes a habit. Okay. So, which is perfect that today is August 1st, first day of August. So, you can start today. For whenever you listen to this podcast, you can start from whatever day that is, and mark it on your calendar. Mark out 30 days, and be intentional, and try to work on that. Get up and do your affirmations. Say your I am statements, okay? Journal. Give your read something motivational. All right, 5 minutes of reading in the morning, if you want to, if you can, something that is going to help you along your journey, along your path to keeping you centered and aligned. There's things that you need to work on. You can get books or get audio books and listen to them. Things that will help you, right? So I want to challenge you guys to be intentional in what you do, okay? And I want you to pay attention to your surroundings and the things that are happening around you and to you, okay? And how they affect you. All right, pay attention to that. How do you feel when somebody says something to you? All right, why does that statement make you angry, or why does that statement make you happy? What resonates with you? Okay, so again, for the month of August, or whenever you listen to this podcast from this day on forward, I want you to mark out 30 days on a calendar in your phone, wherever you want to do it, and practice this for 30 days. All right. One last thing I want to give you is a prayer that my grandmother used to pray, and she would always say, "God, I ask that you place me in the right place at the right time, giving and receiving that which was ordained for me before the foundation of the world." Again, God, I ask that you place me in the right place and the right time, giving and receiving that which was ordained for me before the foundation of the world. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. And again, I'm telling you all this because I know it works. I've done it. I'm doing it. I've been saying that prayer ever since my grandma taught it to me, ever since my grandmother taught it to the church. And if you want to change some words around it, I understand. Everybody don't necessarily believe the way I believe, and that's okay. You do you. But do these I am statements. Speak life into yourself. And like I said, if you're gonna write it down, make sure you speak it, because speaking and hearing works wonders. It truly does. When you hear yourself telling you, I love you, when you hear yourself telling you, I am peace, or I am joyful, or I am a giver, or I am wealthy, I am healthy, you're hearing yourself say those things. It's a connect, right? So practice those things daily. And before you know it, it's going to come natural to you. All right. So, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you do take that challenge and practice those things for 30 days. And, hit me up, comment on the video, or hit me up on my DMs and Instagram, and let me know how it's working for you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. You guys can contact me. I'm not removed from this. No, hit me up in the comments. I will respond back. I will respond back to you. But just real quick, my Instagram has changed. It is at Mantle Motivations 1.0. At Mantle Motivations 1.0. Everything else, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify, is under Mantle Motivations. All right. So as always, remember, your crown may be tilted, but never, ever let it fall. Peace and love. Redirection. Tired of tested the same lesson. Get the money, keep collecting. I expect a blessing, nothing less. I bet I get it. Automatic.